And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. Last I looked, it is Thursday. It is the 24th of April, 2025. Hope you're having a good day. As always, lots to cover, lots to talk about without any agenda, ulterior motive, or bias. Serious talk. We'll do the markets. We'll do tariffs. We'll do trade deals. We put off Doge for right now because I'm not getting a lot of Doge right now, so not much to say. And anything else that comes to mind. Your job, your industry, taxes, deficits, scams, shams, corruption, you name it, we will gladly cover it. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our Twitter feed, which is now X. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. And if you'd like to email us, all you got to do is be nice. It should be pretty simple for you to be nice, right? One would think. Ladies and gentlemen, there are simply moments in time in the market going up or down that we try to cover, get you in front of, and you never know what the next day is going to be, especially with a very noisy goings-on right now. But I must tell you, I have a few thoughts before I get into the market. Oh, let me just state for the market, it had another good confirming day today. Remember, we told you had a confirming follow-through day on Tuesday, and we have seen nothing but upside, though yesterday really sucked as the Dow gave back 800 points from the highs. The NASDAQ gave back, about 300 points from the highs? But today, excellent day. And we'll get into it in 1 second. A few seconds. A lot of emails we have been getting about trade and tariffs and all that. Let me tell you how I absolutely positively feel. Whatever's going to happen going forward has nothing to do with trade deals. What? That's all they're talking about. Let me explain. Not to give them short shrift any trade deal we may get. What you need to know, number one, is they're going to oversell it. President Trump, everything's the greatest, most fantastic, the best in the world. We get that a lot from him. And that is not a rub. He's a positive guy. But what you need to know, just because some country's going to buy a few more things from us, or $1 billion here or $2 billion there, it's not going to move any needle. It's not going to add any big GDP to this country. Create jobs? Will it create jobs? Not so sure about that. We're almost fully employed right now. Do we want to have more manufacturing here? Sure, but there is no way we're going to replace the people, 98% of our sneakers and shoes made in Asia. That's not going to change. Do we want to make more cars here? That's going to happen. It's going to take time. And there's going to be more of that, and that's good. And it'll create some jobs. But you have to remember, we're a $30 trillion economy. To add, I have no complaints. Adding a couple of $100 billion, terrific. It's a fly on an elephant's butt. So I think we're going to get trade deals. I have no idea with who and how much and when. We're hearing differing things. And again, I don't know how much and when, but that doesn't matter. In the big picture, though, it's going to be oversold. The most important part of the equation you need to know, and since we've been 100% right on all of this since day one, we warned you about the tariffs. We're the ones who warned about the tariffs. We warned everybody on TV, on radio about the tariffs, that it's a horrible economic policy. And what did the tariffs cause? Oh, a crash in the dollar, a crash in the stock market, a real drop in the bond market. Duh. Commerce stopping. Duh. So the fact that they did the pause, which I think is going to stay forever. I got to believe that because that's what started the crash. I got to believe the talk now about coming down off of these real high tariffs, even though they kind of came off of that too. Don't get me started. I got to believe they have smartened up. That's going to be the big story. Getting rid of those. We'll get some trade deals, great. They're going to oversell it. They're going to tell you they're the greatest. The big story is getting rid of that crappy, scummy, sleazy tariffs that make absolutely no sense. We were 100% right about it. And little did we know, in case you did not know, Home Depot and Walmart and Target told the president in 2 weeks we'd have shortages and it would force up prices. Little did we know the Port of Los Angeles imports have dropped like 40-50%. That's business. That's commerce. Little did we know that Amazon stopped some shipping. Car companies stopped shipping. Why? Because they don't know what the hell's going on and what they're going to pay for things. That's the big story. And I'm pretty sure, I hope I'm right in saying this, I think he has to get it by now. Don't you think? Because every time he comes off the tariffs, the markets go up. Yields have been coming down. More belief and trust in us. I've got to believe he's seen the writing on the wall. And I have to tell you, if he goes backwards again, then he's got to be considered one of the biggest economic jackasses of all time based on the market screaming at him. Now I know, and this is the biggest problem I have. People that love him, he did the tariffs. Tariffs are great. People that love him, he takes off the tariffs. Tariffs are not great. You guys got to get real and just think about policy and not who you love. Remember what we do here. And we got to that point years ago when we realized they all suck. These politicians suck. They're working for themselves, and a lot of them think that we're working for them. AOC and Bernie Sanders have been yelling and screaming at us about climate change. They're taking private jets to speak to people. You know the two words, right? Up yours, private jets. Do you know like one trip on a private jet, that's like 2 years of you driving your car? I read that somewhere. Anyway, back on the president. The markets are getting stronger now as he has backed away from the stupid. And man, it was stupid. And we will keep our fingers crossed he gets it. Because I gotta believe he likes the markets going the right way. And I gotta believe he has seen his poll numbers on the economy and tariffs have crashed. Did you know that? His poll numbers on immigration are fantastic. On the economy and tariffs, they've crashed. So we're going to assume, and I know what you're going to say about assume, that he gets it, which takes us to the market. So yesterday at the high, we lost 800 points from the high. Horrible. Finished up almost 500 today. The NASDAQ yesterday, I think like 300 points off the highs. I'm guessing maybe 250. Up 457 today. Advanced declines today strong. Reaction to earnings, not all. There was some blow-ups, but reaction to earnings terrific. What do we always tell you what the market needs to lead? Technology and financials / banks. Very good day. What did I tell you the number one stock was? And Netflix broke out of range and into new high ground. By the way, one of only 7 stocks in new highs, even though we had such a strong day. I'll name a couple of them, and I'll tell you what else is starting to come on. Because all we do right now is we measure. Netflix, we're in. We have to be by rule. Another name, Take-Two Interactive, edged out a range today. Numbers, but guidance is pretty good going forward. We'll probably look to get that. CrowdStrike getting close. Mercado Libre getting close. The names that move out of range, first ones, as long as they reported earnings already, we're going in. Why? Because that's how markets work. Strength begets strength. Up next, what else on the markets? Lots to cover. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. And do not forget, we are President Trump's best friend. We're his best friend. One who critiques and provides solutions are his best friends. The ones that kiss his butt even when he's wrong and killing markets are the enemy. Just remember that. Muy importante. Still haven't met him. I bumped into him at the Trump Taj Mahal many years ago. I went to WrestleMania there and I bumped into him. I actually bumped into his shoulder. That's the only time I've ever met him. He didn't say a word. I didn't say a word. Because he was already on his way. That's my claim to fame with President Trump. And we are wishing him well. We are wishing him nothing but greatness. We are wishing that the economy soars, the markets soar. That's what we want. That's what we want. What we don't want is BS. No more. We don't want that. Okay. Back on the market. Oh, interject something here. You know how we tell you we feel like we have a real good nose for what's going on out there? And this is just a buildup of years. When I started in the business, I used to visit like the Home Depot parking lots to see how many cars were there. That's how insane I am. You know how we tell you that? We just feel like we have a good feel. And, you know, we fly up to the Northeast just about every week. And we visit some places that we think are meaningful. A couple of malls around here in Central Florida. Some of the important restaurant chains. We told you weeks ago something's up with the airlines because we spoke to TSA at Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK. Three pretty important places. And, of course, Orlando International Airport. And we don't act like we're anybody, so we just, is it busy? How is it versus like a month ago? Little things like that, and they are glad to answer. And, of course, when we're on the airplanes, we can obviously see. And we can also see as we go to the gates how many people are waiting to get on. Southwest Air CEO Bob Jordan in an interview says airline industry is in a recession. How is it we knew that, what is it, about 6-7 weeks ago, and now they're just reporting it? So just letting you know, sometimes you can see what's going on and you don't have to wait. And just in case you don't know, we called a top here on this show in the airlines back in, I'll give you the exact day, I believe it was February, the week between February 13th and February 21st. And since then, the airline stocks had dropped about 25%. And we'll see what happens from here. We don't know. But we saw it with our own eyes. Just letting you know. And now they're reporting it. I believe American Airlines also came out with their numbers, and they talked everything down also. By the way, they lost money on no growth. And if I had a message to these airlines, Last week, I had an emergency to go to New York within a day, and the cheapest flight was $480 one way in economy. Maybe you want to treat your clients a little bit better than that and not piss them off. Some of them had $900 one way for economy. You know why they do that? They have you buy the you-know-whats when you have to book the day before. But I would think there would be an airline out there that would be smart enough to say, we're going to treat people a little bit better, and then we're going to advertise it. Hey, by the way, look what they charge and look what we did. Nah. Why would they do that? Anyway, that's the airline story. And if we pick up on anything else, we'll let you know. We told you about Starbucks, new CEO. We don't understand what he's doing. But I must tell you, they have something called the cortado. What a great drink. It's like an espresso with some foam and some, I don't know, what's the spice that they put on it? Boy, is that really good. Anyway, the stock's gone from 117 down to 83 since March. We warned you about it. The stock was rallying. And it was like, I don't understand why it's rallying. And of course, they finally got to it. I don't understand what he's doing. Oh, no, we're just going to keep prices high. Yeah, sure. Nobody's going to care about that. Anyway, just little tidbits. Okay. So, the market. We had said to you that we thought the crash low, and that was around April, it was April 7th, and then you could call April 8th and April 9th because the lows got close. We had said we thought there's no way that's being taken out right now. Notice the words right now. We're not saying down the line. We don't know, and maybe it is the low. But we had said to you that, and we were hoping that we would get something called a higher low. And that simply means you rally up, and the next time you pull back, it holds above those lows. That's what happened Monday. And I'm just letting you know, I'm kind of comfortable in saying right now that the lows of Monday, which is higher than the lows of the crash lows, I'm pretty sure they're going to hold for now. And when I use the words for now, it simply means for a while. I really have never put weeks or months on that because you don't know. With one proviso. And unfortunately, we have to give a proviso. Notice the big word. If President Trump wakes up tomorrow and says, that pause for 90 days, we're going right back to it, screw it, we'll crash. We'll crash. Just letting you know. So we're working under that. We will crash if the president goes back to that. And I mean that. The market won't be able to take it. Your industry won't be able to take it. Industries will not be able to take it. It was one of the worst economic policies I have seen in forever. But I give him the credit. He's finally backing away. But great day. Happy about it. What's next? That's up next on this, the one and only Investor's Edge. When we use the language here about the market's overbought, oversold, and what that simply means is that a move has been done. It's been a big move in a very short period of time, both up and down. Amazingly, I can tell you that the market going into Monday was still on the very oversold side. It is extremely overbought right now on a near-term basis. But in order to get very overbought, you need to go up nicely. So, cool. I really like what the market's doing now near term. It has afforded me things to do in a market that didn't allow me to do anything, which is very good news, which means I bypassed all the nausea, and we're still going to take it day by day. We're not going to let our headlights go farther than they can actually go, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Simple as that. I can tell you, we had mentioned Netflix, we had mentioned Palantir, we had mentioned CrowdStrike broke above a little range, not new highs though yet. And we're just looking for more and more things. Oh, I take that back. We're not looking for it. They show up. And of course, now we're in the midst of big time earnings season, and we'll look for strong earnings, strong revenue growth. We'll also look for BS because, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes a reporting has a lot of BS in it. We'll see. Of note, today, not after the close, but before today, ServiceNow, NOW, a software stock that had been trashed, up $125 on their numbers, which are decelerating a little bit, but not bad. Has a lot of work to do, but a very strong day. I will tell you some semiconductor stocks. Texas Instruments up about 10 today, was up about 14. And just remember, these are all recovering from bear markets, and it remains to be seen how much they can go. Lam Research was up 4 today to 70 and change, about 6%. Here's another little Impinj, it's called, symbol PI. Stock had gone from 239 to 60. I heard somebody talk today about holding long term. Would you want to hold something long term that went from 239 to 60? I'm going to let that sit for about 10 seconds. Would you like to have something go from 240 to 60? Oh, by the way, in about 7 months? Would you want somebody to say to you, don't worry, think long term, and it went down 75%? Just letting you know. Anyway, that was up 16% today. ResMed, RMD, up 10% today. And you know, one of my favorite economically sensitive names, United Rentals, was up $58, almost 10% to $647, as probably puts in a low. The market's better, of course, but deceleration in sales and earnings were down 3%. That's not great news. But the market. And after the market, Google reported and beat handily. Closed at 159. It's 166. Still down from 207 in February. Has a lot of work to do, but really good numbers. I'm surprised it's not even higher, but I'll have to look through those numbers. Symbol Fix. It's one I watch because it was a leading stock until it topped out on the AI crap, and has gone from 553 down to 300 at the low a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's going to be up 10% tomorrow on their numbers. I'm going to have to go through that. And then there's some blow-ups I'm not going to go through. I want to keep this on a positive for a change because the market has sucked so bad. So it's good to see ServiceNow, a mega cap. Well, not a mega cap, but a sizable one. Netflix, a mega cap, breaking out a range. Google going to be up, if nothing changes, tomorrow on that. And of course, if Google's up, Facebook is going to be up. It's up $12 in the aftermarket. And by the way, Facebook, Meta, 741 down to 480. Would you want to hold that from 741 down to 480? Just asking. Because there's an awful lot of people that have been in this bear market and lost their arses that are out there already patting themselves on the back. I will never name names. Told you so. I saw one say told you so, and I'm thinking to myself, I know what that person owns, and I got to believe he's down about 25% in the last 2 months. Still, But they don't care. Just be careful, ladies and gentlemen. So Netflix, Palantir, but that's still not a high. CrowdStrike's getting close. I mentioned Take-Two Interactive. But as far as new highs, I don't think I want to even mention any others. I'm going to mention KT symbol, Korean telecom services, but I can't figure out their numbers. After that, there are really no new highs. And you know what? I'm thrilled. It has been such a brutal drop that there's so many things so way away from those highs. But you know what every bull market has? New highs that show up. So we are gauging the things that are moving up the fastest, and we'll see what comes of it. We don't know yet. And the fact of the matter is we have, a couple thousand earnings reports in the next couple of weeks. And we'll see what goes on. And we'll report to you. And by the way, we're going to tell you to buy, sell, short, or cover. We're just telling you what we're seeing. It's not hard to say to you, oh, it's a new high list. You decide. But very good day. And unless he changes his stance and goes back to the nut house, crash lows look very good, and Monday's lows look good. And any pullbacks constructively towards Monday's lows, I'm going to like. That's the thought process. And as more things show up, the better. What else did I like today? The banks. They still need plenty of work. And they're still way down. Example, Goldman Sachs was up 16 today to 545. It was 672 about 8 weeks ago. That's what we mean. And we don't need to go through the rest. That's just one example. But we can kind of tell when, I don't know if I want to use the words the bottom, kind of tell when they got a little juice. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. And we're seeing it in others. And as you know, our screens are set up, separated by sectors and importance. And we'll see how it goes. Do not forget Procter & Gamble gagged today. IBM was down 100 Dow points today, even though the Dow is up 486. Tells you how good some of the things are. Things like Microsoft up 12. Dang. That's good to see. The stock is down from 10 months ago from 468. It's 387. That's how tough that's been. Salesforce.com in the Dow was up 14 today. That's, 26 Dow points. That would have been about 160 Dow points between the two. That was up 14, but closed at 264. It was 367 10 weeks ago. Lots of damage, kids. We'll be on it every day. Up next, this, that, the other thing. Whatever else, I'm Gary. This is the one only Investor's Edge. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. I did not receive any phone calls today. That means my father had a good day. Yay. I mentioned American Airlines before. American Airlines reports a first quarter loss and pulls the whole outlook for 2025. And as we mentioned to you, an outcome of this whole immigration thing is that, number one, travel from Europe, especially Western Europe, way down to the United States. Eastern Europe, which is more right-leaning, by the way, this is true, that's picked up. From Canada, way down. Airlines have pulled flights from Canada because they can't fill them. So a little bit of that going on. And I think that's part of it, but I'm pretty sure domestically it's a little bit on the soft side. They may want to think about how much they are continuing to charge. And by the way, I was looking at flights to London Memorial Day, the week of. Business class, which is usually $4,000 to $5,000 round trip. 12. What, I think I'm going to do that? Not saying I was, but I'm just saying I always look around to see what's going on. Wow, huh? Which takes me back to something I said earlier, because I don't think I've done it enough. Bernie Sanders and AOC flying private jets. Interesting. I just want you to remember a few rules of socialists and Marxists. The one big rule is they are only socialists and Marxists with your money and your lives. With their own lives, they're shooting the middle finger at us and doing whatever they want to do. So they'll look into the camera and talk about the climate 1,000 times and then get on a private jet to make themselves happy. It is the height of hypocrisy. We just want you to remember that. They will tax your arse off until you're in the poorhouse, all for the greater good. Catching the drift? Bernie Sanders in the past was calling for a 100% tax rate on every dollar above $1 million. He has praised the Cuban economic system and healthcare. By the way, in case you don't know and haven't read about it, Cuba is imploding right now. Their whole economic system is imploding. It is amazing. What is it, 90 miles south of Key West, I believe? Is it 90? And they see the growth of the United States, and they can't get their act together. They're still driving cars from the 50s. They're still repressing people. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell's the matter with the people? How have there not been an uprising there? Between the Castros, who are, I think, gone, I don't even know who's running the joint now. And I had friends that actually went to Cuba a couple of weeks ago, and they said the place is beautiful, with beautiful beaches. Do you know there could be Shangri-La there? It is amazing to see. And it's amazing to see Venezuela, that Yutz, that punk, Maduro. He lost the election by miles, but he runs the military. And I think they jailed the guy who beat him. I think that's what happened. Don't quote me on that last part, but I'm pretty sure they're jailing people that are against them. And the people are desperate. They've lost all hope. And I'm amazed it's 2025 and we still have pieces of crap like that able to take over countries. It's amazing to watch. These socialist Marxist dictators. I know I'm going to get some Trump haters saying, well, Trump's a dictator also. I get that. Anyway, I just want to bring that up because I heard that Bernie and Alexandria Ocasio, they had like 30,000 people go to see them and applaud them. And I'm thinking to myself, do these 30,000 people know that these two want to control their lives? Take out a machete and cut them off at the knees? Take over their wallets? And if they had their druthers, the government would get paid and then that money will be doled out on money they made? Do they not know that? Have they not spent 5 minutes looking up Marxism and socialism and what it's done to every country that it's ever been put upon the people? Are there 36,000 that showed up that stupid? This day and age where information is so at hand? Are they not pissed off that they're flying private jets while telling people they have to conserve and it's the climate? Have they not figured out that the climate thing is a hoax in order to make people rich? I saw Al Gore was out this week talking. I could never meet Al Gore in an airport. You know why? He takes private jets. He's in that little private jet area away from the airlines. Because I got to tell you, if I ever saw him in an airport, he'd be getting a few words out of my mouth. So we just want you to remember this, how bad these people are. They are such the enemy. By the way, I say that telling you how bad Trump's been on tariffs. But Trump is a tiptoe through the tulips compared what these people and their proposals and their thought processes have done to great countries. You know, Venezuela used to be this oil-rich country. And now, because the Marxists took over and they don't know how to run anything, they've destroyed it. If I took over Venezuela tomorrow, within a year, they'd be back to being oil-rich. That's how easy it would be, but you have a scumbag running the joint. So we just want you to remember all this. These are not good people. They are out to rob, destroy, and control. Definition of Marxism and socialism. That all said, you have a great evening. Drive carefully. And when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise. And do not forget, we're here for us, not them. Peace out, all. Hopefully the markets continue on the way. Good night.